Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori and I am doing a weekly plan with me and my hobonichi cousin for, let's see, April 17th through the 23rd. So I'm going to be using a couple of different stickers today and some washi that I'll try to incorporate if I remember to be honest. Sometimes I just like get carried away with the sticker placement and don't even think about it. So I have different kinds of stickers, and I think I'm actually going to be using some of the cloud and rainy stickers because it's been really rainy lately and I'm wanting to kind of incorporate that into my spreads. I don't think I'll be using these, so I'm going to put those to the side. But I think I'll be using these in my weekly spread and my dailies. Just different kinds of weather stickers. And I brought out some sticker books from the Paper Studio to add in case I feel like doing that. But I also have this sticker book. Obviously, it was a Walmart clearance sticker book from a really long time ago, but I felt as though the colors matched better with these stickers. So I apologize beforehand if you can hear any jingling or overall noises. My dogs are very upset right now because my husband is outside doing yard work and they cannot supervise his every breath. So, and hopefully this plan with me will be a little less, I don't know. I felt like my last week's was so stressful on my end that I didn't feel like it was that great, but I didn't want to not post it either because I wanted to show the real time indecisions that I usually end up having. So, I'm gonna set that there, that there. Always gotta get my trash can stickers. All right, so I think first I want to lay down some of this washi. Let me get my card out first, though. I'm always forgetting this thing. So this past week, if you want to see a little glimpse of how that spread turned out, a lot of things happened. I don't like the way this turned out, but I think this looks way better with the Coffee Monsters Co. arrows. But I didn't want to end up pulling them all off and messing up the paper, so I just left it the way it was. And I still have some stickers from this kit that I need to use that I may try to incorporate in this week as well. So there are those. I'll put those up. But this is kind of to show you how my week filled in looks like after the setup is over. Then into a fresh, less overwhelming outlook for the week to come. So I'm trying to get my washi tape out. Let's see if I can get this down without any major issues. Okay. I'm okay with it being a little bit overlapped up top here. So I like this card a lot because you could just do that and you don't have to worry about it. It's so convenient. And I want to try to label. I want to try to layer some of the washi before I forget, you know, maybe. Because I have a lot of washi that I feel like I just don't ever use. And like the stickers, they need to be used. So I'm going to try this, like a little bit of this too. Oh my goodness, if I can get it off. And then hopefully I'll remember to use some of this in my dailies as well. Because I think I would benefit from using some washi there too. But anyways, I hope y'all's week went well and that you had a I guess, not stressful week. I was at a conference this past week. I am very fortunate that my library director allows us to attend conferences for professional development. And my brother-in-law was actually speaking with me, and he was like, "What do you even do at a library conference?" And I was like, "I'm sure a lot of people have that question." Basically, the conference I went to was for children's literature. So it was a children's book festival, and there were, conference sessions on different story time techniques, different topics within librarianship that are seeing a lot of press these days, such as book bannings, things of that nature. So, it's just pick a conference session and attend it, and, just some networking opportunities as well. So it's like any other professional conference. I guess people just think that librarians don't ever leave the library, which is not the case. So let's see, what do I want to put on the weekend? I like this little raindrop guy. He looks happy to be there. I think I'm going to put him at the beginning of the week, though. Over here. He's saying hi. I do like how the son has a mustache. I think that's funny. And I will put in the cards the stationery haul where I got these. These are from Stationery Pal. So I thought they were really cute. And it has been raining a lot lately. I think I'll do this down in the bottom with, let's see, blue. Do I do the orange? No, I'll do this. Just a little bit. Try to do a better job of adding more washi to the bottom too. I feel like I get so concerned about using the bottom because I do stay up later, but when I do use the bottom, I'm just nervously sticking stickers places and not really having forethought about what I'm doing. But yeah, so all in all, my week was really good. I really enjoyed the conference and the time getting to reconnect with the librarians in my state. I think it's really important, especially to kind of be familiar with the faces of the people who work in the same state as you for when legislation gets crazy and you need a support network who understands what you're going through. I think that's pretty vital. So it was so comforting to speak with people who have the same interest levels in just librarianship and children's literature that I do, and know the struggles that I go through and just the different experiences and comparing notes. Like I always leave so refreshed and ready to get back to work and inspired to do more, because I'm usually leaving with new ideas to add to my story times, or just new perspectives that I hadn't thought about before. So I really, really love going to conferences. It always makes me feel so much better, and I don't feel as alone, because you get in your own head about stuff and you're like, I'm the only one who goes through this, when that's not the case. It just feels like that sometimes, because I feel like any professional world has a tendency to get a little siloed, and people forget that there are others going through the same things. So I love all these little rainbows. They're cute. If I can get them off the sticker sheet, that would be even better, right? Okay. It's like Operation, and it's gonna beep at me if I don't do it correctly. Let's see. Here we go. I'm stalling. I know. I think I'm going to set this one aside. But I like I like the sun. We're using the sun. He's got a little mustache and sunglasses, and he's adorable. I was like, I'll set these aside because I think I'm done using them, but then I forgot I do my dailies as well. So that wasn't, very well thought out, I guess. But I like the star. Let's see. And this week is my late week, so I didn't even realize that till I just looked at my schedule to plan. I have tomorrow off. I'm filming this on Sunday, so this is today. And I actually have the 17th off because I will be working Tuesday through Saturday. So I hadn't been paying attention to the schedules. Now that snuck up on me, but that's all right. Not a big deal. And a late week at the library just means that I will be working until closing, and I'll be considered part of the closing staff. And all we do is just make sure everybody's out of the building and do all the closing procedures. It's very straightforward. But it just means that I'll be working a different schedule. I feel like I haven't used a star over here. Right there. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me, but I don't know if I like the layering of those three colors. But I feel like it does go with the watercolor effect. I just don't know if the washi did it justice the way I wanted it to. I'm not sure. And I'm sitting on my foot and it fell asleep. Oh, goodness. That feeling is so indescribable. I've heard people, like, I think the closest I've ever heard it being described as was like the static on the TV back when, you had cable, and if a channel went out and you just had the static, which there are probably people out there who don't even know what that means. Like, can you imagine that? There are people out there who have never seen a rotary phone and wouldn't know what to do with it. And there are people out there who don't know what TV static even is. What a time to be alive. Not really about shaming people for when they were born, but I just can't imagine not knowing some of the things that are like some of the struggles of technology growth. I guess what I'm thinking of is like when you used to sign on to AOL and got that really long, obnoxious sound that was like crackly and crazy. I don't know what I would do if somebody didn't know what that was, anyways. So, let's see. I want to do my regular Well, it's so shaky when I do this. I don't know why. It's because I don't practice enough. I know why. But alright. So, ew. Dang. I worked that day. So, like, I needed that space because I start work at 8:30. It's cool. Whatever. It's cool. We'll roll with it. Again, my dogs, man. They just want to bark at everything. And look at that. I have a whole sheet of weekend stickers. Did I use them? Of course not. I don't know if there's anything here. I hope to be able to use this book, but I just feel like they're always so much larger because they were not made for this planner, even though I try real hard. I could definitely put the payday sticker down. Oh, and it's crooked. Oh, joys of joys. I feel like this is how stationery humbles me. I just can't even put a sticker down straight. It's fine. It's fine. All right. These I even think these might be too big. So maybe I'll try to use some of these on the dailies instead of the weekly and the narrow columns, because I just feel like they're not gonna do too hot. Let's see if there's anything functional I can use from this one. I could use like deco or something. All right, I think I'll use the clocks for work. Yeah, I used all those deco stickers up, so yeah, I'll start with the clocks. So I need to, where's my pen? Hold on. Man. Ah. Got it. Okay. So this is a day off. I'm going to use one of these vacation stickers just because, or should I do holiday? Because again, I'm trying to use up my sticker books that I got. I'll use the yellow vacation that I got from Shine Sticker Studio at Michael's, their Slumber Party sticker book. I just went crazy for it, and now I'm here with 2 sticker books, and this whole hobonichi has been brought to you by the Shine Sticker Studio Slumber Party sticker books at this point. I've used so many stickers from that themed book, but I'm okay with it because I actually really like the company, and I've talked about them a million times. So, all right, do vacation there. What do I need to do tomorrow though? I'll come back to that. If you've watched a plan with me before, you know how sporadic I am about being all over the spread. So let me do, I could do some swatches, I guess, because I want to do, what should I do? I'll do trusty N52, I guess, or should I? Oh my goodness, Tori, make a decision. Stop being annoying. Okay. I work, let's see, 9:45. That is such a random time to be working. 9:45. You were 9:45 this day and then 9:30 every other day. So weird. I'm just gonna do the swatches across like that. Try to get them to look somewhat symmetrical. Yeah, so 9:30 this day. And then Friday and Saturday are 8:30, which I can't do here because I already lettered that in. So I'll just swipe a swatch at 10 and put in the correct hours on the swatch. Oh my goodness. All right, while that dries, I'm gonna come back over to the sidebar and do habits. And this is where I'll still use some of the Coffee Monsters Co. stickers because I feel like they still match with the colors overall. So I'm gonna do meds. Do y'all hear my crazy dogs? They are just going crazy. Crazy dogs going crazy. Imagine that, Tori. Can't even speak eloquently. All right, so I track my medicine, grooming, and no spend. And I like how the emojis don't have faces, or like they have faces but they don't have mouths, so you can kind of make your own. I'm gonna do an X there. Give the emoji some flowy hair for grooming. And then medicine, we'll do a happy face. See? The grooming one cracks me up. Look at him. Should I give him some sideburns? That's funny. Too funny. Okay. It's the little things, folks. Okay, so we'll put medicine. Grooming. Right under it. It's kind of crooked, but I don't care to straighten it. So, all right. So those are the habits, and then that's not a lot of room for highlights, but I'll still, I guess, try it. Can I take these up? I could move the star down. I think these one will be a little bit more forgiving on the paper because they're a little less, they're like more flexible paper, sticker paper, I mean. All right. Trying to move this down a little bit. See if that changes what we can do for highlights. I'll put him over here in the column. That is a very crooked cloud, but that's okay. Clouds are never perfect, so it's realistic, right? All right, so I want to do, let's see, should I do another, I'll just write it out, simple. All right, do okay. So I do the highlights of the day just so that I can kind of maintain a positive outlook. It just gives me a little bit of space in my week to remember that even if the day sucked, there was one good thing about it. So we'll do work. And here come the dogs. Back from barking and everything to make some kind of noises back here. Work. Work. And then I'm going to write 8:30. All right. Just use these to bring attention to the already very quite obvious work shifts, but that's all right. I can get it off of the page. Okay. Sure, none of those are consistent either, but that's okay. I am hypercritical of myself, and nobody's going to be looking at my planner as much as I will be. So I just have to kind of remind myself of that every time I get a little too hard on myself. So, all right, so we end the day at 7, which I've almost gotten it to where I can just tell you that the 19 means that it's 7 p.m. in the 12-hour clock. But just to double check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, okay. 7, 7. And then 2 is 14, right? 1, 2. Oh, well, I end work at 2:30, not 2. But potato, I guess. This is weird because it's 9:45. And then this is 9:30. Has anybody watched the Beef show on Netflix by any chance? It's got Ali Wong in it. My husband binged it while I was at the conference, and now he's making me watch it with him. Not making me, like, I don't mind. He watches a whole lot more TV than I do. Like, I am usually reading or watching YouTube videos. I'm not watching actual TV. So, that show is wild, y'all. Like, I'm only 3 episodes in, and I'm just shook at some of the stuff that these two characters are doing. They are just... They need some help, is what I'll say. They definitely need some help, and it's interesting to see how their lives are colliding, because it starts with like a road rage incident. That is not where I start work. I start work at 8:30. And whoa, it just escalates quickly. So it's not like, if you're looking for family-friendly TV, that ain't it. But it's definitely, it's something. Okay, so let me see if I have anything. So the 17th, I have okay. Of course I have a meeting when I'm supposed to come into work late, so that'll be interesting. I'll just have to take an extended lunch, I guess. Because I don't want to miss that meeting. I mean, I could. I really feel like there's not a need to go, because I usually know what I'm doing. Uh-oh, y'all. Are we experiencing some healthy work-life boundaries? Phenomenal. I'm not going to mark it. I'm going to wait. Because I'm supposed to come into work at 9:45. And that meeting is at 8:05. And I will not be attending because I'm not scheduled to be at the library. Look at me. Okay, but I do have a story time at 10:30 on Tuesday. So let me see if I can pull one of these baby stickers. Or do I want to use... I still have these. Yeah, I feel like that gradient works better than this. Oh, there we go. I've given up on trying to, like, pretend it's not there, y'all. They bark at everything. Alright, so we have wee baby. And then, let's see. So the autism screening day, it's also that day. One of our, or should I do something different? I think I'm going to do one of these stickers. I can find them. One of the representatives from an inclusion, I guess, what would it be? An inclusion center? Reached out to me and wanted to use our library for, I'm gonna use this sticker book. Shocker. She reached out to me to see if we would be willing to host an autism screening day for ages 0 to 5. And fun fact, if somebody ever asks you why so many people are being diagnosed with autism, or if somebody ever, you know, comments on that, and like, people weren't like this 20 years ago back in my day, you can politely remind them that the diagnostic manual for, like, healthcare, the DSM, did not include any symptoms for autism until 1994. And that's why people think that autism is skyrocketing when it actually isn't. It's just that the diagnosis criteria is actually more and the most inclusive it has ever been. So there's your fun fact of the day. That really gets me going, and I'm not gonna get on that soapbox, but it really makes me angry sometimes because people think they know what they're talking about, and they don't. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I know a little bit more than just a comment about how it's happening more often when it's not. It's just people are being seen for who they really are. It's amazing. So let's see. That is that. I'm sorry if I'm shaking, by the way. I'm just trying to get this down. All right. So there's that webinar that is also that day on Wednesday. So let's see. I want to do, I don't want to do a star because I feel like I'm just going to associate stars with all of my regular programs. So I'll do a star here for sensory story time. At 10 a.m. And then, let's see, what could I do? Oh, some of these. Let's see. Think smarter, not harder. Use that flag, maybe? Or should I use a... Oh, I just opened that one. Where is it? The freebie that I got from... Do y'all see how crazy? Y'all don't see. It is crazy on the left side of my desk right now. Oh, here it is. Okay. Perfect time for the freebie. I could use the Luna one. Should I? I feel like it's still... Ooh. Okay, let's see. Watching. Oh, working. Or I could do a post-it. The decisions. Why am I like this? These were given to me by a great, like, amazing pen pal. And I think they're so adorable. I'll use to have an emoji that's not a zombie. I'm pretty sure I do. Is it like critters or something? Yeah. These are cute little critters. Yeah, I'll use a unicorn one. Okay. So, I'll just put over here the, what is it called? The Learning Years? Early Years Conference. So that's 8:30 to 4:30. Virtual. Obviously won't be able to sit in the whole thing. But the good thing about virtual conferences is they provide you with the recording. So, even when you can't attend the whole thing, you still are able to catch a glimpse and then go back and finish it if you need to. Okay, what else? I don't usually plan like a ton of programs during my late week because I know that I will have to be on the desk and I do most of my programs for like teens and our kids at night to allow for parents to pick their kids up and have dinner, all that stuff. So 2, 3, I use some emoji headers for this. I think it's funny. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna put emoji header there. How many barks? I'm gonna start keeping a tally of how many barks a day or every time I record. Right. Put that there. And I always have a coffee cup to mark when I'm on the desk. So let me double check. I am on the desk. That time. And there. And there. Right, so desk 5 to 7 p.m. Desk 5 to 7 p.m. and desk 5 to 7 p.m. And down here, let's see. I think I'll use all right. Let's see. What else do I need to do? Is there anything else? I think I'm done, honestly, with that part. I could do on Sunday, I know that I have to do my normal thing of see where I want to put you there, and then we'll do this to do a header over here, because I know that I'm gonna have some stuff I want to do. Oh, you know what? Huh. Guess who needs to file her taxes on Monday because she waits to the last minute? And if you hear that in the background, that's Waffles chewing on a bone. And Wesson whining about it. Yeah, I pay somebody else to do my taxes because I don't want to go to the jails for getting instructions wrong. I know myself and I know my flaws. I very easily could mess that up. So, do you hear Wesson in the background? He is whiny. All right, file taxes. But luckily, I go to an accountant firm or like a CPA, and it's like these two older ladies who are just like the most southern women you could think of. They've seen it all. Oh my gosh. Anyway, they've seen it all, they've done it all, and nothing I throw at them like really phases them. I always go in thinking that I have the most dire tax situation, and they do it in like 30 seconds and then charge me $100 for it, which honestly, all right. So now we're at the dailies. Do you want to try to use some of these? Bring them back, bring them back. Oh, that's what I forgot. Take out the trash. I just noticed that I had my trash can stickers and didn't use them, so need to remember that. Put this guy right here. Take out the trash. Oh, goodness. All right. And then I should probably claim some assignments from freelancing. So what I'll do a little piggy bank to try to remember to do that. And then I'll probably just like do a check mark in the little sticker to indicate that I've done that. So back over here to the weekly or the daily. So that is what my week will look like, and I hope that gives you some insight into a late week as a librarian, and I hope you'll consider giving me a thumbs up or subscribing to help support my channel, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!